everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jenny Lee, and I like to do things pretty much all beauty. Also like lifestyle. I'm a mom of 3 boys, but my main interest is of course my makeup. So today I'm going to be doing a first impressions video for you. Wet n Wild, which is a very affordable makeup brand, and their makeup's very good quality too. But I noticed when I was at Walmart, just doing my grocery shopping, trying to mind my own business, not spend no money, but I ran across their whole new line, which I don't really find it at my Walmart, like anything new, they just never seem to get it. But they had pretty much the whole line. I'm not really sure if it's the whole line, but it looked like it. And I got really excited and I'm like, we need to get this and I need to share it with you guys. Because like I said, Wet n Wild is a great affordable brand and it's good quality makeup. So this is, I got Wet n Wild. They had a whole little palette. You could have got a single or the double. For the price, I felt like it was worth it to get the double. It was almost like getting 2 because you had like the different more shade ranges. I have some of my purplies, but then I have my neutrals in this one too. And this one's called the Heart and Soul, but the soul is spelled the S-O-L. I don't know if you can see, that's really tiny. Yeah, it's really tiny up there, but you can take my word for it. But like the colors, like I said, are purpley. Then you have like your kind of more neutrals. So I thought we could create a nice little look with that. This is like a good everyday. They have this new mascara, which I need to find a good mascara that I'm liking. I even got from the BoxyCharm, the Man Eater. I'm not really a big fan of that mascara. I don't like wands that are like the cones. They just don't work well with me, I guess. So this is supposed to be Big Poppa. Big Poppa, that reminds me of Tardy from the Party, or actually before Tardy from the Party, Housewives, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kim now she's Bierman, and before she married Croy, she had her Big Poppa. So that's what it made me think of when I saw Big Poppa. Big Poppa, he was like her sugar daddy. So this is the Black is Black, and it's supposed to 500 plus crimped bristles, catch every single lash. So it looks really good. I hope the wand's not too big. I almost was gonna get it because I was a little worried about that. I also got a little gloss. I have a liner too, somewhere. Not a liner, it's a brow, which I've been trying to get into the brow game. I've been trying. That's just one thing that I just don't want to take that extra step for. It's kind of like why I don't do lashes too. I love the way lashes look, but I just don't feel like I have the time for all that. So, but I think like the more you practice, the faster you get. And I do feel like brows at Christmas time, I took pictures and I noticed that I was missing some brows. That I would have looked way better if I had filled in my brows a little more. So ever since then, I've been trying to be a little more aware of that. And they had like 3 different options. You could have got like a gel, which I do like the gels. They make them like more fluffier. There was a pencil, and then there's another one too. But I got the pencil. And then they have this tinted hydrator. Hopefully this color is gonna work. It's the closest color that I saw for me. They were out of almost all the colors. This stuff was very sold out, so I didn't have that many options. And this is the Tinted Hydrator, Tinted Skin Veil. It's got the hyaluronic acid. I have been loving tinted moisturizers. Now, while I'm here, I wanna share with you guys my favorite one so far, until I haven't tried this one, but I've been using this every day, and it's the Revlon Color Stay. It's not necessarily a tinted moisturizer, but it's a light cover foundation, and I love this. This has become my go-to. It's actually half full, which is crazy. Like I never burn through like a foundation that fast, but I've really been loving it. It's just, I'll have to do a video and show you guys how this baby goes on because I just really been liking it. All right, so that's all the products that we're gonna be trying today, like I said, and the little liner. So we'll see how these guys work. I've already moisturized, so I don't need to do that step. So I like to let my moisturizer sink in. But even if you're using a tinted moisturizer foundation, still moisturize. And another tip too is don't put your tinted moisturizer on like a moisturizer. You always want to put it on like a foundation. So if you put your foundations on with a foundation brush or a sponge like I do, that's how you want to put it on. If you're just rubbing it in, you're not going to get that much pigment, you know, it's not going to cover as much. So that's a little tip, because I used to do that because I thought that was the whole purpose of a tinted moisturizer, quick, easy, but you want to put it on like a foundation, like I said, because you'll just get way more from it. So let's get started. Enough chit chat, and I could chit chat about makeup all day long, and that's why we never get anywhere. All right, now before I put on the Tinted Hydrator, I'm still gonna put like a primer base, because with anything, I still think you should have your primer base so it's not sinking in your skin too much. So I've only been trying this recently. I've used it 2 or 3 times. So I'm still deciding if I like it or not. But it's a Magic Skin Beautifier, and it's supposed to help prime, correct, hydrate, and perfect. And I do have a lot of redness, so you know, I'm hoping that will help with that. And that's sometimes the problems if I just use like a tinted moisturizer or BB cream. I feel like my redness just shines through. It's not really like I have anything else that I'm worried about. You know, I don't have a lot of acne or anything. And this I do just put on with my hands, just like I would a primer. And I always take my primers over my eyes and my foundation. I feel like, why get an eye primer when my face primer can do the same thing? Now I know some people feel like they need an eye primer. I mean, everyone has a preference. Mine, I just don't feel like I need it. I feel like my eyeshadow stays just fine with using my regular primers. And see, it didn't do a whole lot, but I do feel like it smoothed my skin down, and I do feel like it took a little of the redness out too, actually. I mean, still got some redness here, but my complexion does look a little more solid. So like if you didn't have time to do no makeup, just that alone did help a little bit, you know? All right, so now we'll go into our new Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. So I'm gonna get her out. And we're gonna hope the color, oh, it looks good. I think I did good. Sometimes, actually, most of the time I get too light of a color, so. And it's almost better to go a little darker, I think, than it is lighter, because you can lighten it up with your concealer. I've noticed all makeup companies are like going to that naturally option. I think that's the thing these days. Well, I guess because none of us are really going anywhere, so what do we need heavy makeup for? But I'm really getting into it too. I'm liking it. I used to think I had to have the full coverage. If you find the right products, you really don't. And know how to use them. So far, it's looking nice. And all these products were under $5. I think the foundation, or not foundation, the tinted moisturizer was right at $4.97. So was the mascara, and even the little eyeshadow palette. Wow, look at it. It looks really good. Like, it still has a nice glow to it. You know, some of my redness peeks through a little bit, but only like in the areas where it almost looks like a blush, so I don't mind it. And then you'll get a little more coverage if you need it with your concealer. You know, will help with my dark circles a little bit. Now we're gonna go in with our concealer, and I'm gonna be using my e.l.f. Camo Concealer. It's my favorite concealer out of all the concealers really I've tried, even like the name brand ones. For one, I'm not gonna pay that kind of money for like Tarte Shape Tape concealer, because I use so much concealer that it's kind of hard for me to spend a lot of money on that. Same thing with foundation. Like, even though I like a nice foundation. I guess it would be good for like a fancy day or something, but I just don't see spending a lot of money on those things. Now, an eyeshadow palette, your girl will drop some coins because they last forever. And I never get rid of them. They really last forever. I definitely don't feel like you have to have expensive makeup. This is what Miles shows you. You don't need expensive things. I like to go above my brow a little bit too. And you just want to put your concealer basically wherever you want to add some light back, like where natural light would hit. And also there's some places that you need a little more coverage because the concealer is more of a full coverage. But that tinted moisturizer works really good. I've tried it before. It seems like they've made things differently these days. I don't know if it's just me, but because I have tried the BB creams and stuff and I did not like them. All the tinted moisturizers like a year ago, and I just could not find one that I liked. And now I can't really find one I don't like. Because they would always like peel on my face. And I'm just lightly pushing this in. You don't want to overly blend it in. And if you like tinted moisturizers, look way better on your skin too, especially if you have kind of aged skin like I do, then it just doesn't like, you know, it looks so much fresher and brighter. Your skin doesn't look as dull and it doesn't bring out your wrinkles. I mean, we all have them, and it just looks better. So I've really been liking it. And this does appear to be a really good one, guys. And for $5, you can't beat it. All right, now I want to do a little cream contour. I've always here recently been into that cream contour game. Not really sure why. I picked up this new one from LA Girl, and it's the Velvet Bronzer. It's just a really nice light one, and I've been liking it. The color just really looks good on me. And it was on sale, so I think it was like $2. CVS seems to always have like really good deals on like Essence, LA Girls, really all their makeup. You just don't want to buy it full price there because it seems like it's more money than if you went to Walmart for the same items. And I'm just gonna use the same Beauty Bud. Now we're gonna set our face. Now the two powders I've really been liking, I got from Essence. This is a matte one, and this is All About Matte Fixing Powder. And this is a Brighten Up. It's like a banana powder. And I like to start my whole face with this first and set it. And I feel like when I do this, I don't need as much of like the baking powder or the banana powder, which I'm gonna use for under my eyes. So we're gonna start with this. I've been loving this little brush. I got it for like $1. It's one of the Real Techniques, one of the Christmas ones, and they were discounted after Christmas. It's become like my favorite little brush. And I feel like this just really sets my makeup, but without making it too cakey. Because I'm always like, you know, don't want my makeup sticky. But when you put so much powder on, you went from not sticky, but you're cakey. You're not a sticky bun anymore, you're a cake. I'm gonna still use a good amount of powder, but then I'm gonna take my beauty bud and just get any out of my crease. Because if you don't do that, you will have creasing. That's a very important step, is to make sure you set this area too. I did not do that for the longest time. And I did not understand why even some of my good eyeshadows were creasing. It's because I'm leaving wet foundation in my crease. And then I would be setting it creased. So, not a good idea. Now I'm gonna switch to my beauty bud, and we're going into Brighten Up, and I'm gonna put this places I wanna brighten up basically. And I take this side and I rub it. See how nice that looks? I never thought that you could use these to bake. I felt like it had to be loose powder. But you just wanna make sure your beauty bud is dry, because if you use a wet one, it won't be good. So I've been keeping this purple one, I've been keeping it as my dry sponge, and I don't wet this one. So if I want a wet one, I use a different one. I feel like this just really puts it on there too. And it's putting it on my face and not everywhere in the air and my lungs. And I'm kind of taking this where I put my highlighter. Not my highlighter, but my concealer. Actually, it looks like I'm putting it everywhere, so. All right, before I jump up to my eyes, I'm gonna go in with a little contour powder too, to let it sit in while I'm baking. And I like to pick a matte powder without the shimmers, and then when I go later to bronze, I'll use more of my shimmery bronzer. So this is the City Bronzer, which is a really good one for this step. It's just a really nice light one. I feel like when you're contouring, you really don't want the shimmer. You know, it's just like when you're adding your crease and you're contouring to your eyes, you use more of your mattes. Kind of the same concept. Even though that did nothing to my powdered donut nose. See, it's just a really nice light. This is a really beautiful bronzer though, guys. This is a drugstore, Maybelline, but really good. Especially like if you're really new into contouring and stuff. This and Physicians Formula, you can't go wrong with those. Now before I do my eyeshadow, I'm gonna take a little bit of a lip plumper. This is the Sexy Mother Plucker from Soap & Glory. It's not necessarily drugstore. I don't know, you can buy it at Target and stuff, so I guess it could be considered drugstore. I don't have any like cheapy lip plumpers, and I like to do a good lip plumper, and I put it on while I'm doing my eyeshadow and stuff. So by the time I get to my lips, they're plump. Alright, so we're to the good part. My favorite part, the eyeshadow. Which, the foundation I was really excited about too. I keep calling it foundation. Same thing, right? Moisturizer, foundation, which I'm loving it so far. Like as long as I have that nice smooth, that's, you know, what I'm looking for. And I'll also let you guys know, I'll update you if it wears good, but normally they do. It's not like I'm wrestling with it or anything. So we're gonna start in our little eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna do more like of a pinky neutral to kind of match my shirt, but nothing like crazy, kind of like an everyday look. And I'm gonna start with this color right here, which it looks a lot deeper on camera than it does. So, and I'm using an It Cosmetic crease brush. It's gonna go right in the crease. And she has a nice pigment to her. Wet n Wild shadows are really good shadows. Like, I've always liked them. Sometimes some of the darker colors can be a little harder to blend in some of their formulas, but just like the really dark ones, you know? And that's almost with any eyeshadow. That's why you wanna build it up with different shades. And when I'm adding colors to my crease, if you notice, I kind of swirl as I'm putting them on. I start, and then when I get down here, I kind of swirl. Kind of go back and forth from swishing and swirling. This is a really pretty color. And it feels a lot more like butterier than our normal shadows. Like, look how it's just like smoothing right on. Like, I'm not having to put no effort into my blending. Wow, I'm actually really liking this. Actually, earlier, which I love ColourPop, I used this palette, and I had some like creasing. I had a little hard time not getting the crease to build up. It was a little streaky. I don't know if it's just I didn't set my crease enough. I want to do a video of that with you guys. So we have to give her another chance. It could have just been something I did wrong. But these are just, so far, so good. I'm giving them a 10 so far on these new products. The mascara is what I'm nervous about. Alright, now we get our crease going. We're gonna take this color right here, and we're just gonna go on the half of the crease, like the outer corner or outer half, and just a little bit. You wanna start slow. But when you add your darker colors to like a color already going, they definitely go better. And you want to start them slowly. You don't want to put a whole bunch on at once, because that's when it's really hard to blend. Even if it's a really good formula, it makes it hard. And I like to blend as I'm putting on. Some people apply, then blend. I blend as I go. I feel like it may take a little longer, but not really, because then I'm not like struggling later on. right, now I'm gonna switch my brush to a little smaller brush. Make sure it's nice and clean. This little shift shaper. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. They're $1. And it's just good to get the little extra shadow off your brushes. So I'm gonna go in that same color. And I'm just gonna take it a little on the lid. Just a little bit. And this is a good brush, so you get that perfect line. So you just don't go too far. Sometimes I do it with the blending brush, but then it gets a little further than I wanted it to. And I'm gonna take the same brush. I'm gonna clean it off a little bit. I like these brushes for doing the bottom lash line because the real pointed brushes, and actually my sister, which was a good point, she had her palette and it had like holes all in it. And I'm like, what happened? And she was using like the really pointy brushes for her lash line. You don't need to do all that. So I just take the very like top of it, and I feel like you have more control and you can kind of make it more smokier, or because I like a nice smoky bottom line. So I'm gonna dip this in. I'm actually gonna go, I was gonna do the pink, but now yeah, we'll do this one. I'm gonna do this one right here, and I'm gonna do the lower lash line. And this is gonna be like my poppa color, kind of. I feel like a poppa color helps really bring out like your eye color. This is like a very easy to use palette. Everything has blended very nicely. We'll have to see how we get to the shimmer. There's not too many shimmers I don't like. It's more the mattes that can totally, you know, make it or break it. Because if you have a bad matte that's not blending well, it's no-go. All right, now I'm gonna switch up to just a little bit of a fluffier brush, same kind of brush, but just a little fluffier, a little wider. I'm gonna take my Morphe setting spray, and I just spray like my table or whatever I got in front of me instead of the brush. That way you can just keep like dipping in. You just want enough to really make your brush damp. And I'm gonna go in with this color first, and I'm gonna put it on the little main part of the lid, like the center. Which you don't have to use setting spray, of course, or you don't have to wet them. I just have gotten a thing where I like to wet my shimmers. It gives them kind of like, I mean, it does change like the finish. I feel like it gives them more of a just kind of metallic-y look, which I really like. It makes them less dusty. Sometimes, you know, shadows can be a little dusty. So it just makes them more creamy. Which I might should have tried them without wetting them first. And now we're gonna go in with this pretty light one, pearly pink, I guess you'd call it. They don't have names on them at all, do they? Yeah, there's no names anywhere. Yeah, I'm not seeing them. So we'll have to name them ourselves. But I'm gonna take this one with a wet brush again, mine as well. I'm already gonna fill in the inner. since I kind of got it build up there a little bit, I'm gonna take my finger. Because shimmers always do a little better with your finger. But I like to start with the brush so I get it, you know, right where I need it. All right, and I'm gonna take my crease brush and I'm gonna go with the light color that I started with and just make sure no shimmer got in, you know, none of the shimmer shades got in my crease. Just clean up the crease a little bit, but with the light one, not the dark one. Just very lightly, just to kind of clean it up, put everybody where it needs to go. All right, I'm gonna dust off all the extra powder. All right, we're at our eyeliner. So I'm gonna be using my e.l.f. for my eyeliner. This is just my go-to liquid eyeliner. Actually, any eyeliner for the top eyeliner. It's like the only one I can really use. That these bristles, something about this wand, it's not really the formula, it's just the wand that I've just gotten really good at, and I can't find anything that compares. I know a lot of people like they inch slowly. I kind of have to go fast. I have to do it in like a couple swift motions. I feel like I do better than when it, like if I go slow. I have a lot of the felt tip eyeliner pens, and I cannot use those to save my life. Like, I don't get it. People who can use those like a charm, I don't get it. I like more of the paintbrush. I like to paint it on. Be careful getting too much product right there. I got a little too much. And this eyeliner, I know at one point it was like only like $1 or something like that. I think it's went up a little bit, but super cheap. Now I'm gonna take my Wet n Wild. This was the Breakup proof, waterproof eyeliner. I got this a while back. I haven't used it that much. Wasn't too impressed with it. It just doesn't like show up as much. Show up a little better today than normal. Sometimes I think you just really got to get them going. You know, once you kind of like dull the top off, I do think they work a little better. Yeah, look, she's working way better. She was not working like this. I almost wonder like if there's like a wax layer or something on the top that you just kind of got to wear off. Get it going. Because I've noticed that with a lot of eyeliners. They work better after a little while. All right, now we get to go to the mascara. All right, we got our big poppa right here. I'm telling you, I feel like just like Kim Zolciak Biermann. Every time I say big poppa, that's what it reminds me of. And it says bigger is better. Let's get that nice big tube. But the wand doesn't look too big, so. Actually, this is the kind of wand that I like the bristles. I hate the comb ones. Don't know why, but I don't like them. They're scratchy and I don't feel like they coat my lashes well. I feel like it just pulls them through. I can already tell I'm gonna like this a lot. You know when you know. Mascara is the one product that I feel like I have to have. Like, there's a couple of them, but it's like one of the mandatory products. But it's the one I hate doing the most. I hate doing my mascara. It's the only one that I really like just despise doing. I don't know why, but. I do my lower lash line, oh, here's sticking up. I don't re-dip it. That way it's not like real messy. If there's too much product on it, it gets real messy. That's when you get the mascara everywhere. All right, so we're gonna go back in with our bronzer. And now I'm using the L'Oreal Bronze Please. This is probably my favorite, like, go over bronzer. It's got a nice, like, shimmer to it. It makes you look like you've been on a tropical island. I'm telling you, you cannot tell I'm not wearing, like, a full coverage foundation. Like, this foundation, or whatever you call it, was really good. Like, my skin looks perfect, but without that heaviness and cakiness. Look, there's like no cakiness. Look at my under eyes. Like, look at this. Now for blush, this is a Wet n Wild blush. Also, this is one I've had for a little while, and it's called Pinch Me Pink. And it's just a nice, perfect little blush. And I thought it would go really perfect with this eye look. I didn't see that they had a new blush. If they do, they didn't have it at my store. And the name fits this like perfect because like, it's kind of what it looks like you just kind of pinched your cheeks. Gives you like that natural blushy look, which I really like. I mean, sometimes I like an extreme blush look, I'm not gonna lie, but you could definitely build it if you want that. All right, and now this is one of my favorite highlighters in general, but also from Wet n Wild, and this is their Mega Glow highlighter. As you can tell, I've panned it. So, and highlighters are hard to pan, guys. So, you know you're loving a highlighter when you panned it. I've had this girl for a little while, but it's like a very creamy highlight. It's not powdery by any means. It's a cream texture. Like, yeah. I like to put them on with my fingers, and then I go take a brush later. If you watched my videos, y'all know that that's how I roll. I feel like you just get that more pigment of the highlighter. And I like a good highlight. Oh, look at that, guys. See? I've used it so many times and I still get shocked when I use it. That's when you know it's a good product. When it shocks you every time you use it. Oh, like, come on. Like, that's shocking. And I'm gonna blend all of that out. And then we're gonna get to our brows. I know that's what y'all been waiting for, to see me mess up these brows or mess this whole look up trying to do them. I'm just darkening the color. I'm not, you know, doing nothing fancy. So this is the packaging. I didn't show you guys this before. So this is the pencil. And like I said, they had like 3 different ones. One for like fluffy, one for more bold. This was more your natural, like buildable, which of course is what I want. Just something really to fill them in, kind of darken it a little bit, is really all I'm going for. Kind of stand them up. I do like them like kind of spiky. I've gotten a spiky, but you know, fluffed. Spiky sounds like a dog or like my kid's hair. Like, you know how some people think the wing liner is hard. For me, it's easier. You guys think brows are easy, and I'm like, it's like walking a tightrope. But now you like kind of want to outline it and then fill it in, you know? gonna run this through it too, of course. And I'm gonna grab my lip product. So our last thing is their lips, and this is the Clout Pout is what it's called, which is really cool. And it says it's a marshmallow lip mousse. Crazy, right? So I guess it's gonna be like real like airy and fluffy. I don't know if it's gonna be like staying, like last a while. I don't know. I'll let you guys know. Like I said, I'll let you know about the foundation and the lip gloss. I'll give you guys like a little update. And this is Girl, You're Whipped. Oh, I love that name. I'm not whipped though. Only my lips. Oh, it smells really good. Kind of smells like cake. This whole line's like, I guess, like a very airy, fluffy, but very beautiful. Probably my favorite thing that Wet n Wild has come out with, besides that highlighter, of course. Now we're gonna set our face, after I drop the lip gloss, with our Morphe setting spray, and it's my luminous one, which I'm getting low. Look how beautiful this look turned out. I'm actually really impressed. Not that I didn't think Wet n Wild was gonna pull it off, but these products, sometimes their products can be a little more expensive when they're nicer. This whole line was specifically made to be $5 and under, so everything in it, the mascara, everything, that palette was under $5. Normally a palette like that is, even Wet n Wild, more than that. Like, look how many shadows you got. I don't know how many the little pans were. Also, you could get just a one pan, you know, one that goes across this. They had 4 different options, and then there's like 3 of these. But I felt like this was like, you know, worth your money, like more value, and you had more places to go in one look, you know, more mattes and shimmers to play around with. And I used a good portion of it. I used like the whole area. So I'll have to play around with those later, which I will. These are shades you will use all the time. Very like beautiful, but everyday look. But you can also make it very like date night, dramatic. Tons and tons of options for the price. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, watching all my videos. I appreciate it so much. It gives me inspiration, like I always tell you, to make more videos. I would like to get this channel up and going. Let's at least get us to 100 subscribers. I have a fun giveaway of one of each of all the items that I bought from Wet n Wild. I have brand new ones to give away to you guys. Just gotta get us to 100 subscribers and we'll do the giveaway. So I'll see you guys in my next video, and thank you so much for watching, and hit that bell so you'll know every time I make a new video. That way you don't miss it and you're like, what? There's no new videos? So you'll be the first to see them. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.